Bubbles of info. Bubbles of fun. Bubbles of music. Ever wonder why these people do the Macarena? Or who styles Tina's hair? Well, find out on VH1's Pop-Up Video. Fun-filled facts packed into your favorite videos. Only on VH1. Pop-Up Video. Pop-Up Video.
Understanding him is hard. Ow! Controlling him...
Promise me to stay right here.
...may be impossible.
Oh, my God!
From the director of Wayne's World, Chris Farley, David Spade.
So what do you want to do today?
No, 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 no! Black Sheep.
Promise me you'll stay in the car.
Free minutes was good.
5 free minutes was great.
But 10 minutes free with my psychic is even better. My psychic told me not to worry. So I went back to school and now I've got a great job. Now that's a true friend.
Talking about true friends, 10 minutes free is where it's at.
Now that's for me.
She knew that my boyfriend Donald was scared of commitment. But the advice she gave me turned the tables. And now he's begging me for attention.
Get 10 minutes free. Call 1-900-454-1143.
You asked for it, you got it. All new episodes of your favorite TV show. VH1's 8-track flashback. More classic hits from the 70s, sung by the original stars.
He walks in the streets of all day long. Bad, Leroy Brown.
VH1's 8-track flashback. It's a TV show. Only available on VH1.
The Alliance goes down tonight, and I was there live to see it. What's going on, everyone? And welcome to your classic pay-per-view watch-along tonight. WWF Survivor Series 2001. Been promising this one for a couple of weeks, and we've been talking about it for the last few months doing watch-alongs, so we would eventually get to this one. And I've reviewed this show over the years on my channel before, and as I've told the story many, many times throughout the years, I was at this show and I had really, really good seats for it. I was just a few rows up on the other upper level right in front of the hard cam, and the camera basically just is facing me the entire show. So you're going to see a whole lot of Greg on this show, and it'll be fun to relive these times again. The invasion angle was not very good, but I thought the Survivor Series was a lot of fun, at least from my perspective. I was also at the Raw the next night in Charlotte when Ric Flair came back and Austin kind of officially went babyface. Jerry Lawler came back to the company that night. William Regal joined and started the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. I was at that show as well, and this is a wild weekend and really fun. Back in the day, just a couple of months removed from 9/11, 24-year-old Greg made the trip to Greensboro and attended Survivor Series 2001, so I want you guys to keep a lookout for me as we go through the show here. I'll show you where I'm seated in just one second. I've got some images, but let me say hello to those of you hanging out in the chat already. I want to welcome Ray Friend, and I believe, who was the other gentleman? I got to shout him out because now I've lost him. There was another channel member that joined a little while ago, and now I can't see his name because I think my pinned comment might be in the way. I've lost him, but I will find him and give him a shout out as well. But Ray Friend, welcome back, dude, and thanks for joining the family. Once again, I'm just cruising over here to my analytics area just so I can shout out this member, Alan Carter. That's who it is. Joined 2 days ago. I owe you a shout out as well. Thanks for joining the family, my friend, and same to you, Ray. Good to see you as always. I'll start saying hi to everybody else in here once I get my right screen pulled up. There we go. Tatanani is in the house. Thank you for the follow over on Instagram. By the way, I have started an Instagram account. We're off to a good start, 140, 150 followers or so in the first day, and we'll hopefully start utilizing that platform now, finally, after all these years. I never had an Instagram account, never even used the platform before, never had one in my personal life, have never literally ever been on Instagram before yesterday or the day before. So we're up on there now. I threw a link in the pinned comment up there at the top. You guys can go check it out. I know many of you, Tatanani, We Are Pro Wrestling, and a few others have already shot me a follow over there, and I appreciate that. Same with Jeff McMahon and a lot of you guys. So thank you to those of you who have already joined us over there. I'll start posting more images and pictures and maybe some more behind-the-scenes stuff, and just try to use that as another avenue to push the channel, plug the channel, promote the channel, that sort of thing. It will be fun. David Brown, good to see you as well. Zach is in the house. Jeff McMahon, George Morris chiming in with the token $5. Appreciate that, dude. Hey, Greg, how are you doing and how are your cats? WWE Survivor Series 2001, 0 out of 10. What did you think of the pop-up video during this time? WWE 2K23. What did you think of pop-up video during this time? Oh, are you talking about the, because I brought back the scroll. I didn't use the preview guide scroll last week for the watch-along, and everybody's like, what happened to the scroll? So I'm like, okay, I brought it back, and I spiced it up a little bit, added a couple of new ads and stuff in there for fun. I used to watch pop-up video back in the day on VH1, if that is what you are referring to, because back then you didn't have DVR and a lot of options to pause and record and watch later. You just had to channel surf and just watch whatever the fuck was on, and a lot of times if I had other stuff going on in my house, or if I was working on something or doing some work or writing a schedule for my job or doing anything that would require busy work at home, sometimes I just have my TV on VH1 just playing and pop-up video would be on, and I would watch that shit a lot in my free time. I don't know what WWE 2K23 means. I'm sure it's coming out or there's a new game or artwork or cover or something like that going on, but you guys know me, and video games aren't really friends. Who else is here? And by the way, thanks again, George, for that. Jet the Hawk, Isaac is here, and so is How Wheezy. Is that you on the left or right? That is me on both, How Wheezy. I threw up 2 images of myself in the thumbnail just so I was unmistakable. Plus, it was cool to have me visible during Rock and Austin's moments in that main event. So I just want to make sure you guys could see me. During the show, I was wearing a Kurt Angle, It's True gray t-shirt over top of a gray hoodie. So it almost looked like I was wearing a Kurt Angle hoodie, but I wasn't. And let me show you where I'm at. So one of the first matches on this card, I believe, is, or that's the Battle Royal, is Al Snow and Christian. And, right, Al Snow and Christian. There's Teddy Long over there, but the red circle up there in the upper right, that is me. So you can kind of see that gray hoodie. That dude to the right of me was my roommate at the time. He went with me. And you can also see me here in the Battle Royal. There I am, kind of. So when you look at a wide shot of the ring, that's where I'm sitting. So I'm kind of right over there on that right side far ring post. And you can see me with the It's True shirt. And I also have that television title that's hanging on the wall right there. I have that in this image. Where is it? This one. See? That's when The Rock is doing his thing, and I actually have the championship belt on my shoulder. And I've told the story before. Back in those days, replica belts weren't everywhere. So when you took a replica belt to a show, people asked to see it and hold it and touch it and smell it and lick it and kiss it and all that stuff. I swear to God. And it was very nerve-wracking to actually have to give this thing to a bunch of random fucking hillbillies who wanted to touch my belt thinking they could just run off with it. And everybody made a huge deal about taking a replica belt to a show. And now I think it's silly to take replica belts to a show because you can literally buy them at the show. But back in the day, it wasn't so easy. And not everybody was walking around with championship belts. There was just a few of us. And I was one of the lucky ones to be carrying some gold that night from the other company over on my shoulder. So that's where you can kind of see me. So you can keep a lookout for me during the show here. Like I said, that wide shot of me here is a good indicator of where you're going to be looking for me, and I'm sure I will be visible for much of this. But it was a blast going to the show back then. These are my favorite type of seats to have. I enjoy where I sat at Survivor Series for this pay-per-view more than floor seats. I mean, like I've said it a million times when it comes to going to wrestling shows, if I'm on the first 2 rows, then okay. Maybe even 3. I might even push it to 4 because I did sit 4th row for the King of the Ring one year. But that's about as far back as I'm willing to go on the floor. Because on the floor, you can't see shit. Everybody's at the same level. People got their signs, are jumping up, standing on their chairs. And if you're all the way far in the back, you can't see nothing. I'd much rather be one level up for probably cheaper seats or for a cheaper price, and you can see so much better. And I had just direct sight right into that ring. I remember everything. I could see everything so clearly and closely, and I could see the run-ins and everything happening. It was so damn fun, and I had a blast being there. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures from this event because I just didn't take a whole lot of pictures back in the day. My buddy did. Another friend of mine who went with me to a lot of shows. He sat on the floor, and I know back when I did my review on this show, I had asked him to send me a picture of the chairs. He has 2 Survivor Series chairs. I didn't prep and get that picture ready to throw it in here, but it is in my review of this show. And he was down there with one of his friends or a boss or coworker or something, and they sat on the floor. So he had the commemorative chair, which was awesome, and sent me a picture of it for that review that I did a year or 2 ago or whenever it was. So I will be rolling through some of my random memories and what I remember of this time period and a lot of my opinions on this angle and whatnot. So I will stop wasting your time too much here. Hopefully you guys have pulled up your Peacock and found Survivor Series 2001. Go to the Survivor Series tab. You're going to want to look for Season 15, Episode 1. Runtime on this, according to Peacock, is 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 41 seconds. So a nice short pay-per-view here. We will be done, and this stream will be a nice round, even 3 hours like they all are, unless we're going to be doing WrestleManias, and those are going to be stretching to 4 hours. Those are coming up next year. So it should be a nice, easy stream tonight, and I'm excited for it. So hopefully during this time, you guys have pulled up your Peacock. We will be hitting play in just a minute. I also have the Sunday Night Football game on the wall here as well. That is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the LA Chargers up in LA, site of WrestleMania 39 next year. So we're going to be eyeballing that. That's kind of a big game. And I'm sure my sister and my brother-in-law, big Chiefs fans, are watching that. And yeah, we'll be eyeballing that score as well. How about the Lions winning 3 in a row today? Holy shit. So yeah, let's get on this. Let's start prepping everything. Doing a sound check. All right, I look good on my end. Change my autoplay back. There we go. All right, I think we are ready to rock. All right, I'm going to get my fingers ready. I just want to prep everything. All right, we are ready to go. There we go. Chiefs Chargers tonight. Boo, LOL. What are you talking about, the Lions? Yeah, because they went into New York and beat those boys. What were the Giants, 7-2 or something? You let the Lions come into your house and whip you up? Sorry. You're sorry. Sorry, sons. You lose to the Lions. What good are you, you know? All right, let me just get my timer ready. All right, my fingers are on the trigger. We're going to do a countdown from 3 as usual. Then we will all hit play together, and you guys know the drill. Once we do that, the timer above my head will begin to run. If we do experience any interruptions throughout the night or whatever, you guys know what we do here. You know the drill. The timer above my head, it never stops running. It will just continue to run. So if I freeze, you freeze. If we get tripped up in any way, shape, or form, just make sure your Peacock matches my timer, and we're all hunky-dory. And that's all you need to do, and that's all you need to know. And we can get on with this now. All right, we're going to do a countdown from 3, and we're going to hit play. And I'm ready to rock on my end. You guys ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Boom. Nailed it. Don't do any intro skipping. Well, at least they're not video, or they're not dubbing or editing this. It's that The End Is Here song with classy Freddie Blassie doing the narration. I remember watching this in my seat, looking at it on the Tron. And I mean, I was getting chills because even though it was a kayfabe storyline, as a fan, you know, I was WWF for life, man. So it felt like almost fitting that I was in the crowd for the official end of WCW, since they were really pissing me off back in the day, back in my tribal days. Crazy times, man. Man, I wish I was 24 again. This was 21 years ago. Jesus. Oh, yeah, that was when Stephanie said she wanted Classy to die. What an asshole. Yo, how wheezy. Thanks for the $2. It's your birthday again? Holy shit, I swear I've seen like 3 of your birthdays. You are growing up before my eyes, and now you're 29, 1 year away from 30. Make a will. AARP is right around the corner. You're about to get a discount at McDonald's, old man. Holy shit. 29th, birthday on the 22nd. Happy early birthday to you, my friend. I'm just kidding. 29's wicked young, you bastard. All right, there we go. The end is here. The end has arrived for WCW. I don't remember if this is the music or the song they used or if this is edited. There I am. You see me? Wow. Greensboro Coliseum was so fun. That was such a great atmosphere. The building was big. I had been to lots of shows in this building. Another one that we watched, too. This is our third Greensboro Coliseum watch-along. We've done Unforgiven 98, and we've done another one, I think. And now this one. No, maybe we haven't done King of the Ring. Nice Ryan is gay sign. Oh, look at that. Vlad and the other guy are at WWF New York tonight, so they did not make the trip to Greensboro, although I sat next to Vlad in Greensboro for King of the Ring. Paul Heyman, your last night on commentary, son. That's right. WWE did love Puddle of Mud back in the day, didn't they? Man, that SoFi Stadium's a pretty place, isn't it? Jesus. I have not been up there to see it yet. I think WrestleMania may be my first time actually visualizing SoFi. I don't have any plans to be up in LA before then. Crazy. Here comes Christian. He's a European champion, too. When Christian turned heel, it felt like he went through a couple of different renditions of his theme song before they kind of got it right. This one I liked. His first one was weird. It didn't have a whole lot of, almost just like bass or something. But this one was like a more well-rounded sound. He loved them mesh shirts, didn't he? Yeah, Unforgiven 98. 99 was in Charlotte. 98 was in Greensboro. Greetings to all his fans in South Carolina. Greensboro's kind of dirty, I ain't going to lie. I never loved going there. It's not a place I'd want to live, really. I'm psyched out of my mind. The Juliet, appreciate you joining. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family. I think you shot me a follow on Instagram as well. Thank you very much. That kicker's name is Cameron Dicker. Cameron Dicker, the kicker. For real? Oh, See, another thing I hated about the Alliance and the Invasion is how many WWF guys were in the Alliance and the Invasion. That's another reason why this angle sucked so bad, is because the Alliance was your own people. Tough enough. So the scoreboard here doesn't really matter, right? Because the winner-take-all match is the main event. So whoever wins that survives. So these don't matter in terms of survival of the companies. Where am I? I don't even see myself. Oh, there I am. I got the title belt on me. Look at that beautiful, shiny belt around the shoulder of Greg. Oh, shit. Is the chat on members only? Oh, shit. I got to fix that. I did not mean for that to be that way. Holy crap. I'm sorry. Let me fix this. I want everybody to comment. If you're watching this and you're not a member, I'm sorry. I will fix this right now. This was not meant to be a members only chat, but I think I set it up as that. My bad. I ain't trying to bribe you guys into joining. All right. Edit. How do I fix this? Edit. Customization. Oh, shit. Yeah. I clicked members instead of subscribers. I'm so sorry. All right. You've got to be a subscriber to chat, not a member. Man, I am so sorry about that, y'all. I mean, I'm not sorry to the members. You guys can comment, but I thought something was wrong. Gilbert, I felt so left out. I am so sorry. Anybody that's been watching, my bad. When you click how you want the chat to work, the subscribers button and the members button are right next to each other, and I just clicked members by accident. But I always mean to have I've always meant to have subscribers available. Oh, I didn't know that. So I guess mods can also, so you don't have to, if you're a mod, you can also chat, even if you're not a member. Okay. Cool. Andy Linnell, everybody else that I left out, you're here now. Well, that's always good to get a text message from your boss when you're doing a live stream. Let's see what she wants. Oh, it was just something nice. Okay, all good. Yo, just Alex. Thanks for following me. I'll follow you back, dude. Instagram. My little tiny amount of followers. I'm so adorable. All right, Christian and Al Snow for the European title. We need to be calling this match here. It is kind of weird watching me watch. You guys are watching me watch myself. Hey, Ruben Litton, man, I feel so bad. What, King Bling Bling, what made me get tickets to the event? Was it a gift? Did you buy them? Why did you go? I went because it was in my state. I went to every show that hit North Carolina back in those days. I was a psycho fan. And the cool thing about living in North Carolina is that there was 4 cities, all drivable from where I lived, that WWE ran. They ran Raleigh, they ran Greensboro, they ran Charlotte, they ran Fayetteville. All of them were just within a couple hours drive from me. So, and also Virginia, Richmond, Hampton, Norfolk, down south in South Carolina, Columbia. You could even go that far if you wanted. But WWE came through the Carolinas about twice a year. So there was an opportunity, when you include house shows, to go to about 10 WWE shows per year. And they were there a lot for pay-per-view. They were in North Carolina for pay-per-views in 97, 98, 99, 2000, every year they were there for pay-per-view. So it wasn't a matter of what made me go, was I had to go. I absolutely had to go. So, and back in those days, it was different too. Getting the tickets, I would have to get up early and call Ticketmaster and wait online and hope to get the right. It's not like now where you don't have to buy it that way. You can go on StubHub and pick your seats if you want. But back in those days, I had to take whatever I could get. So I was one of the first ones to get through that morning. I called, got in the queue, and I was just waiting. And then as soon as I got through, boom, they're like, I have 2 tickets right here. Do you want them? I'm like, yes. And then I give them my credit card number. They pay, and then they, like, mail them to you. I have to wait for them to arrive in the mail. And that's how I did it for every show back then. Occasionally, WWE would do some cool things. They would, and I might have actually gotten my tickets for Survivor Series this way. I can't remember, but a lot of times when they would run the town before they're going to come later, like if they ran it, I know one time I was at a house show and they announced that during the house show, during intermission, tickets to Raw or SummerSlam or whatever it was were going to go on sale early to us at intermission. And so as soon as intermission happened, you crowded the ticket window and you got tickets that way. You were the only ones buying them. So everybody got a chance to get ringside seats and stuff, or really good seats. And I bought tickets that way probably like 2 or 3 times. But that kind of sucked because then you have to sacrifice part of the show to wait in line to get tickets when you might miss 2 matches. You might miss 3 matches, depending on how long you're willing to wait in line to get those tickets. So you just had to do things differently. Like, for example, I'm going to WrestleMania this year. I have not bought my tickets yet. I'll get them. I'll buy them January, probably. I'll just go start searching around. I'll pay the gouging prices to get decent seats and just do it that way. No stress. Oh, driver on Christian. That was gnar. Foot on the ropes, yeah. Telegraph that by 5.5 miles, Al Snow. You're a tough enough trainer and you didn't think to hook that near leg? Come on now. Happy Sunday, Big J. Sorry again to anybody that was locked out while the chat was temporarily on members only. Didn't realize I had that set wrong. Unprettier, boom. Ball game. You don't kick out of the unprettier. What if Christian hits a really ugly person with the unprettier? Then what's it called? Maybe it's the more uglier. Christian hits the more uglier. Damn, Paul Heyman giving it to Al Snow. Look at Deborah with the belt and her leather. She looks good, actually. Austin with the jorts. 101 proof. You shouldn't be drinking. How come you didn't return any of your phone calls? I didn't want to. Austin with the longer goatee was different. Austin. He's so funny. He looks high as hell. What's the deal, man? Oh, yeah, Vince planted the seed that somebody was going to turn, right? Smart. He got inside their head. Smart move if you're Vince. Even if it's not true, you tell them that. They're all going to fight with each other. Oh, I know this is early, but what was the Jeff spot like live and close? It was cool, but I was also at SummerSlam 2002, and I was very close to the ring. My seats were similar for SummerSlam 2000. My seats were very similar, and I saw the TLC match, and I saw a couple of those table bumps really up close. And so even though the Jeff bump here later is cool, I saw way better at SummerSlam the previous year. Don't be paranoid, Rob. Austin, I mean, he had one of the more interesting face turns. I mean, the next night on Raw, he was just babyface again. He was heel all through this, all through the main event, even getting pinned at the end. And then all of a sudden, the very next night, he's just babyface again. Like nothing happened. Oh, hi, Linda. How was your lunch with tiny hands the other day? Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy eating with the orange buffoon? Danny Allmark in the house. Good to see you. We got 3-0 KC. Linda has to hate him. Shit happens. Vince really built up that line. There's an old expression. Shit happens. You could have just said, shit happens, Linda. Look at Michael Cole. Those frosted tips, guys. I can't handle the frosted tips. Michael Cole, have you ever wanted to slap a face more?
You seem like you're a little dejected almost, like maybe you might be out of a job after tonight. You're right.
Enigma 47, you know, I wish I had answers for new YouTube's notifications. I mean, I always say subscribe, hit the bell, but sometimes that doesn't even work. YouTube's a mess. That's why you should always just circle back and check on me. Check on me, see what's going on. I try to put up my videos now, my streams, several days in advance, so you have time to click them, save them, that type of thing. So my advice, Enigma, is do that. Calculated risk. But I'll have all my Survivor Series shit up for this week, probably like tomorrow, so it'll be up way in advance. So just check my channel every so often. If I have any scheduled videos, you can save them. And not have to rely on YouTube.
All right? I take calculated risk, which means that my 6 team members tonight will defeat the 4 team members
So Vince continues to push this idea that, and his calculated risks. Vince got Regal.
I'd just like you to know for 1 second, Vince McMahon, that I am not buying into your hogwash, into your mind.
Your hogwash.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I love Regal.
Is loyal to the alliance as I am to Her Majesty the Queen. And I will take great pleasure, and I mean great pleasure, in watching everything that you've toiled and sweated over go straight down the toilet.
I love watching Regal give it to Vince.
That I am going to do to that miserable little toe rag Tajiri.
Miserable little toe rag. It looks like LA scored.
Tomorrow night to the first Alliance Raw.
What's a toe rag?
Publicly humiliated.
Just wash your toe? Which one? Cheerio. Honey Nut are spectacular, by the way. Shit happens. Linda. Oh, Greensboro, I miss you. Oh, that old school. I've been up those stairs. I've been around that building. I've been over there. I've been in that grass. I've been through that door up there. I've been around that way. I've sat in that front area there. Oh, my God. Many memories in that building, man. So many shows. House shows, Raws, pay-per-views. This Is Your Life took place in that arena. I was there for that, too. Yeah, I remember, apron bump, you're right. I remember, too, Regal during this time, he did have some sort of harsh promo with Vince. I don't think it was this one. There was another backstage, I think, confrontation they had where Regal was like, oh, I like this Regal. And so that really explains why he had to pucker up the next night on Raw. I got to see Regal's lips touch Vince McMahon's ass skin in person without the filter of a TV screen. It was just my eyes straight to butt and lip. Wish I could undo that experience. Did not like this theme of Regal's. Liked his other one. I've never really gone through and really watched the show straight through. I don't know if there's any close-up shots of me. Everything you see of me is just wide. Danny Almar, kayfabe brother for 3 months. What is my favorite house show? Ooh, you know what? I got a good one for you. I got to kind of try to remember it. But it was, we did a watch-along a couple weeks ago, members only, of that Raw in Fayetteville with the mini Brett. The house show that I went to the Saturday before was in Greensboro, was in this building, okay? And it was so fun. It was... Oh, wait, it was, it was that was the building, because it actually had a really good house. It was, like, nearly sold out. It was fucking nuts, because Austin was still hurt, and he was, there was, like, I guess it was a hardcore match between Dude Love and The Rock, okay? That would have been in late 97, so it would have been, like, November 22nd. 97, I believe, would be the date on that. And they had a fun match. Foley pulled out like a vice and put it on the Rock's nuts. And they were using broomsticks. They were really putting it all out there for a house show crowd, because the house was huge. The upper deck was full. And Austin came out and helped out. He was like in a golf cart, and he drove Jude Love around back and forth in the golf cart. This was a few months before they started feuding. And just a little while after they were tag champs. That was a lot of fun. And basically, at that time, they had all the matches. I mean, that was right after the screw job, but for some reason, that night was so fun, and it was really exciting. So that was probably my favorite house show. I don't remember any other matches. I just remember that Rock and Dude Love match and Austin getting involved. Ooh, Regal's busted open. He's in the tarantula, too. Damn, Andy, 9-1 Eagles. That's crazy. I think once you get to 9-1, anything short of a Super Bowl appearance is going to be a letdown for them. Oh, shit. Yes, how easy. I saw that. My bad. I will get to that. His Tajiri is hung up. I even told myself, make sure you answer How Wheezy's super chat. I would have seen it when I scrolled up. Where did it go? There it is. $9.99. Appreciate you covering my WWE Network fees this month, How Wheezy. You're the best. Speaking of North Carolina, I'm going to a convention there August 23rd for 5 nights. It's a bunch of old school guys. You're going to have a barbecue with them and do karaoke with them. Guys like from WWF days. I'm dying to know what that is, what that convention is, because my friend goes to a convention out west every year there. I think it's the NWA one. Forgot which one it is, but it's like yearly, and he's always said, like, you need to come out and go to this fan fest thing, so it might be the same one. Regal sucks chant, but that's awesome. North Carolina has great wrestling conventions. You'll love it down there, and I'm sure you'll take a ton of pictures, and I love that you can have barbecue and karaoke with them. North Carolina's got some good barbecue. I will vouch for them. Out here, I go to get a pulled pork sandwich. Pfft, come on, California, you're great, but you don't know what you're doing when it comes to that. Just like I can't go to South Carolina and look for a decent fish taco. California has no clue how to do a real good barbecue. And that's it. Tajiri's done with the power bomb. Busted up. Regal always busts his shit up all the time. He's always bleeding. Regal was a busy man last night. I'm interested to see those pictures, and I'm dying to know How Wheezy who you have barbecue with. And if you sing, I'm going to need more than pictures. I'm going to need a video. Oh, Max, I didn't know that. You and your grandfather saw this on TV together. Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace, Grandpa Pokey Bruh. All my grandfathers are passed away as well. My last one died in 2007. This show, I went with my buddy and roommate. At the time, we weren't living together. We were roommates in 96, actually, but then we stayed friends. And then, there's Tori. But when I went to this show, I was living in an apartment. I moved into the apartment next to him. We were roommates. Literally, our doors were next to each other. Because my lease was up at my current place, and I remember talking to him. He's like, man, the rent is so cheap over here. He goes, the unit next to me just opened up. And so I drove down there, talked to the property managers, and rented the place next door. We could just knock on the wall to each other. Hey, you want to go shoot some pool or go do whatever? So we were basically roommates without having to live together. It was kind of cool. Oh, no. But I've known him since 6th grade, so. I can't believe he powerbombed Tori. And I know it seems like it, but I promise you Tori was not excited about that powerbomb, even though it seems like it. Regal, you dirty, dirty, dirty villain. You miserable little toe rag, you. Regal. Good stuff last night. Thanks to you guys who joined us for the Full Gear review. Good show. MJF won, as we figured he would. Elite came back in a monumental way, coming out to Kansas. Oh, my God. There will be peace when you are done, huh? Okay. They've been trying to get that song for so long. I'm glad that Tony Khan was able to work it out. Oh, thank you for that, Elizabeth. I'm seeing the tweet now saying, yo, dude, why is that members only? Can't believe nobody else pointed that out. I didn't realize that it was only channel icons commenting there. So this is what, Test and Edge? Normally I don't remember much about the show, but I know I just did a review of it a couple years ago. So I think Test... So this is for the IC and US titles. And then I think Test comes back and wins that Battle Royal or something. I believe.
I may not be
Commissioner Foley. Foley growing his hair back. A lot less fun-loving Commissioner Foley back in these days. Look at, oh, he's such a douchebag. Janet.
Rubbing oil on my body. You gotta make sure all the oil is rubbed in. Where the light out there.
Yeah, Janet, idiot. You got to rub all the oil in. You can't just haphazardly slap it on there. Fuck, Janet. Oh, Stacy. You know, Stace.
I was thinking, tonight, after the Dudleys beat the Hardys, and I, of course, beat Edge, and we're all unified champions, I thought maybe we could all go out, you know, and partay.
And partay. You want to go out, Stacy, and partay?
Later tonight.
Ugh.
You and I can unite.
You and I can unite later tonight. Maybe, says Stacy. She's checking out the test buns. Oh. Oh, Lord. Stacy, you can do better. She wants me. Janet, look, rub that oil in, girl. I'm not going to tell you again. Vince should fire Janet. You can't rub oil into somebody's body. What good are you? Oh, I know what Edge says in this promo.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. And on paper, it must seem pretty even. I mean, Tess and I are both tall, athletic, have long blonde hair, and pretty unique first names.
We have pretty unique first names. I don't know why that line cracks me up. We have pretty unique first names. Adam and Andrew, really. It's not that unique.
Tess isn't going to hit you with this big boot. Instead, I'll be hearing him say,
I lost. What the hell is that all about?
Yeah, that's right. Foley would quit on Vince's plane the very next night. I watched that on the Titantron, sitting in my seat at Raw. You knew Foley was over it, man. You could see it. Even that, I'm pretty sure that little promo he cut in the plane was half shoot. I feel like he was legitimately not happy being there, and he wanted out. And I think Vince knew that, and so on camera, Vince pretended not to give a shit. I might be in the bathroom. I don't see me. I might be up there getting a snack. What's that all about? I do. Another thing I remember about going to the show is that I purposely did not take signs because I knew my seats were good. And I was like, I just got to take this in. I can't be distracted with bullshit and signs and all that. So I didn't take one. We watched Unforgiven 99 with my legendary sign that made the pay-per-view. I don't think I would have missed Edge's entrance. I'm there. I must be sitting there somewhere. I'm glad that Edge or the WWE didn't dub this version. Oh, yeah, there I am. I'm still there. Okay. The birthplace of the United States title, that's true. I also thought it was kind of interesting that we are killing WCW in Greensboro, where the NWA and a lot of WCW's history has a lot of history. Now, there was a smaller, it was like a memorial kind of auditorium. I think it was the old Greensboro Coliseum, was kind of on site here, if I remember right. It was off to the side. And I think that's where a lot of those shows in the 80s were run. This place, I think, was kind of on the newer side. And they would run the ACC tournament in Greensboro Coliseum, back in the day at least. I don't know where they run it now, but it used to be held there. We're both tall. We're both blonde. We both have unique first names. Danny, what happened after the show went off the air here? I don't think anything. I think I left during the Rock celebration. They would stick around for Raws sometimes and do shit. But by this point, I had been to so many shows and seen so much after the show stuff. I had kind of started transitioning into get the fuck out of there and get out of that parking lot mode, because it's a bitch. If you're one of the last people out of that building and then you're trying to get out, you guys have all left build arenas before in your car, like how long it takes to get out. So sometimes we'd try to get a jump. Just so we wouldn't be stuck. Because you could get stuck in the parking lot for 2 hours, 3 hours trying to get out sometimes. And that's your entire drive home, you know. So a lot of times we either had a 2-hour drive to the next town or we had a 2-hour drive home, depending on what we were doing. And I was trying to get the fuck out of there, usually. Because then you had to get on the interstate and hit that next Waffle House to get something to eat, where you would meet all these guys. I don't remember if I met anybody this night. I probably did. I'm sure. I have no doubt we stopped for food. And you just simply do not stop at a Waffle House near a wrestling show and not see a wrestler. It's physically impossible. I just don't recall who I met this night. Yeah, the U.S. title here would be dead until 2003. They would bring it back. I don't recall why they did that. Yes, they just brought it back, maybe held a tournament for it, right, to crown the new champion. Help me out on the U.S. title history when it came back in 2003. I'm pretty sure, actually, now that I think about it, I attended a show or two in 2003 that had a U.S. title tournament on it. Because I remember being at a SmackDown and seeing Benoit wrestle or something. So I think I was in attendance for some of this. I just don't remember what happened. It was a WrestleMania shortly after, or it was a Raw, I'm sorry, it was a SmackDown shortly after WrestleMania 19, because I remember Brock saying good things about Kurt Angle on the mic, and I'm pretty sure he was champion. I think it was also the same show of Jimmy Snuka doing a Piper's Pit, whatever that was. I was at that show, and it was a SmackDown. And I remember being in the crowd thinking that was nuts. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm seeing Snuka on Piper's Pit. One of my earliest memories of wrestling is these two guys. I was tripping out over that. Summer of 2003. Finals was at Vengeance 2003 with Eddie and Benoit. Okay, so I don't know what I saw. What tournament was it in 2003 where when they were showing you highlights of the tournament, they used the song Remedy? Not by the Crows or Black Crows, a different Remedy, like a more hard metal Remedy. I remember that song being played that night at SmackDown. Stephanie brought it back. Eddie won it. Eddie won it? No shit. Finals are Eddie and Benoit. Well, that's the perfect finals to have, and Eddie won. I did not know that. I did not know that. I did not know that. Thank you for everybody educating me. Oh, test. We had a lot of Canadians. I remember, Jericho, Christian, Edge, Test, Val Venus, and I think it was Val Venus and Edge. One of them dated the other's sister. I think it was Edge dated Val Venus' sister. I think. I always remember hearing that, and then they broke up, obviously. Because I don't think Edge has a sister. We've seen so many damn documentaries on Edge. I've never once seen Sista Copeland interviewed. So I think it must have been Edge dating Val's sister. I did see Edge and Val Venus at a Waffle House once. Val Venus, I think, was wearing an Undertaker shirt. And Edge was wearing somebody else's, too. Edge was wearing... Fuck, I forgot who he was wearing. He was wearing somebody else's shirt. I thought it was cool. Cold, Bandit Cold. That might be what it is. Oh, he's saying Seether. I thought it was Cold. Cold rings more of a bell than Seether does, but I don't know. Davey Boy Smith classic chin lock. I didn't catch Tess doing that. I don't know what's going on my TV there. Get off that. Don't exit. There we go. Yeah, Edge, I think it was just a single kid. I love when I can see myself talking because I'm like, what am I saying? I'm dying to know what I'm saying. I can see my buddy do it. My friend was such a weird-looking guy. Whenever he would watch something, because we were roommates, I'd see him watch TV. After, let me see what Tessa's going to do. Oh, he got drop-kicked. Whenever he would watch something, and even in school, whenever he would concentrate, he would go like this. He would go... he would, like, turn his head sideways and, like, squint, like, whenever he's watching something. And I can see him doing it in the seat. And he used to do that shit in school, too. One time I had to give a speech in a class in like 8th grade, and I had to do, it was something for school, some presentation I had to give, and he was in that class, and I got up to the front to do my thing, and for some reason I couldn't stop. He was distracting me because he was going like, he was making this weird face, and he was super smart, like got all A's. He's like an intelligence officer in the Navy. He's super smart. But he had such a weird way of concentrating. Just a weird ass look on his face all the time. His name was Jason, and we had pretty fun times on wrestling shows together. Because he was more of a casual fan. I was a hardcore fan. He was a casual fan, so he would go for fun. So he knew who these guys were, but, you know, without me, he's not watching these pay-per-views, you know? So he always, I always liked his reactions because casual fans are more pure, you know, and they're more wholesome, and their reactions are... you know, don't have any, you know, jadedness or bullshit to them or close near fall there. Ooh, spear. Big spear. I could have invited him to this watch along. He actually lives out here. He lives about an hour away. He's stationed here in the Navy. So he and I are actually living in the same state again, which is nuts. Big spear. Nope, he missed. I feel like we're real close to the finish here. He's going for that pump handle again. Aha! Thank you for that, Max Pokebro. I knew that I heard that song during some sort of video package for a tournament. So it wasn't the U.S. tournament. It was whatever that John Cena shit was. Okay. The things that remain in my memory are so weird. Oh. And he got him with a victory roll. Nice. Double champion Edge, at least for a night. Look at that pop. The crowd reaction. Even though the invasion sucked, man. Crowd participation enthusiasm was still pretty fucking peak. King Bling, yes, he does. He does know about it.
Hey, Steph, what's wrong? You seem stressed out.
I am stressed.
After what Stone Cold said in the Alliance locker room,
Stone Cold said.
and now
I like Stephanie's braids.
championship. Don't you understand what's on the line?
Do you understand, Kurt? Kurt's pit stains.
Investments, absolutely everything in the Alliance. And if we lose tonight, well, Kurt, I'm gonna level with you, okay? If the Alliance loses tonight, I'll become a regular person.
Oh no, Stephanie. I'm going to level with you.
Being a regular person means
If we lose, I'm going to be a regular person. It's just a grocery shop.
I'll actually have to wash my own car. I'll have to clean my house,
Wash her own car?
clean my bathroom.
Clean her bathroom. Scrub her own shitter.
Kurt, it's the worst thing in the world. I absolutely cannot be a regular person.
I absolutely cannot be a... Stephanie's hilarious.
Don't worry about it.
She's hilarious.
You are not.
She'd be great in like the movie Clueless or something.
Stephanie,
I cannot be a regular person.
you are special.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
As far as Stone Cold Steve Austin, I really think he's telling the truth. I think he is with the Alliance. Yeah, I do.
You do?
If he's not, I'll make sure that he doesn't screw us.
Oh, Kurt's going to look out for us, huh? Okay, good. Kurt's on the job. Old pals, Stephanie and Kurt. Oh, Stephanie's so great. How Wheezy, thanks for the $2 more. Are you liking JBL as Corbin's manager? No, I hate JBL. And I hate him worse as Corbin's manager. He's horrible. Fuck JBL. Ugh. He's unbelievably ungodly, unlikable to a degree that I didn't think was possible. Oh, see, they're starting to tease this dissension between them two. Is there anything you know that I don't know about you and Matt? Hey, you guys are like in your home state here. What are you talking about, guys? What are you talking about, Lita? About me? What am I, funny? Like, funny how? Like I'm a clown? Like I amuse you? I'm here to amuse you? Each and every one of us. I love Matt. He sucks at promos.
You know what? But we can beat that tonight. We're in a tag team title unification match, and if we win, we've got a job regardless. There's no one who can take away my dream.
Oh, Chris, I'll get to it. Sorry if I missed Super Chat.
And when you win that match and become the champion,
I always scroll back.
you know what? And we're going to do that because we're Team Extreme and we're going to keep our dream. You understand what I'm saying?
You guys are next. You know I'll be watching.
I know you will, baby.
And so I know this finish kind of plants the seed of dissension here, and then they kind of implode, but it doesn't work out. Whatever the split here just does not work, and then they just put them back together. Oh, ooh, oh, what you doing in there, Trish? I see. See, so Lita, a couple years later, getting with Edge, it was just payback. It was just paying Matt back for what he did with Trish. You know they were, Don't front. Chris, there you are, brother. Sorry about missing that $2 a few minutes ago. Backlash 03 was Remedy. Okay, because I remember it was right after WrestleMania, so that matches up. So I must have gone to a SmackDown in between Mania and Backlash. See, you guys have to narrow this shit down for me. There's no digital cameras back then to take pictures and save the dates on this stuff. You have to just kind of remember. Those ugly-ass WCW tag titles. Stacy with the Dudleys was my favorite pairing with her and anybody. I thought she was good with them. I think it's just the glasses. I think that's why I like Miss Hancock. There's something about the glasses. I'm a sucker for glasses on a woman. Plus her legs went to Canada. Good to see you, Kenny Williams. Mike Witt, I'm not disagreeing with that. Put it this way, Stacy Keibler is the Greg Gagne of wrestlers. Or the Greg Gagne of divas. The best. What was that roast? Did you see the roast where Peyton Manning was one of the roasters or whatever? And somebody got up there and said to him, like, boy, Peyton, you're all these commercials, car insurance commercials and this commercial, that commercial. It's like you're like the Tom Brady of commercials. You're the best. It's one of the funniest burns I've ever seen or ever heard. And then she goes, because Tom Brady's the best, right? And Peyton's like, yeah. Funny shit. I was in the building in Fayetteville when the Hardys won their first ever tag team titles from the Acolytes 2 years earlier. The Hardys, man, we used to crack up. They were getting to be pretty big stars by this point, so the posse was evaporating. But in the early days of the Hardys in WWE, when they were still like wearing the Young Bucks looking stuff, and they hadn't joined up with Michael Hayes yet, and those first early years of the Hardys, I would go to so many shows, and they would have their friends would be in the crowd. And they would have, we used to call it like the Hardy Posse or whatever. And they had some scantily clad women in there. They had like a group of friends that would basically show up every time they were at a show. But then as they became bigger, they became less and less noticeable at the shows. So I'm guessing they're just friends or childhood friends or maybe some girls they were hooking up with at the time. I don't know. But by the time we got to 2001, you didn't really see the Hardy Posse at shows anymore. Met the Hardy Boys' dad a couple times. One time he was just on the floor. I think we were in Fayetteville, which is where they live, really close to Cameron. And he was just walking around, meeting fans, taking pictures with him, talking to him. Super nice dude. Just good, simple country guy, kind, shaking everybody's hand, saying hello to everybody. Super nice. Just passed away a couple years ago. Or a year ago, not even a couple years ago. I think it was just less than a year ago. Now we got Hardys and Dudleys. We do have the escape the cage rule here with the Hardys. Jeff wrestling with a baseball hat on. Or a visor or something. Do you know Big Daddy Dudley? Do you? I think he does. Yeah, Jeff with the hat. Wrestling in a baseball hat. So this is going to be for both of the tag team championships here. And a lot of these matches were weird, too, because, you know, regardless of whether or not you win, if your team loses later on in the main event, that's kind of what confused things. Like, you could win the titles here, sure. Like, if the Dudleys win, fine. But if the Alliance loses, then they're fired, which means the titles just be vacated. So you can almost kind of see the writing on the wall here going through the show because a lot of the WWE guys were picking up the championship belts. With Edge winning and, well, I guess the Dudleys win here, but I guess maybe being a champion gave you immunity. Is that what the rule was? Champions would be immune. So I guess that's why the Dudleys would win here, is that way they're technically not fired. since they're on the other team, because if WWE's not going to be firing the Dudleys, and that's another reason why I hated the alliance, is that it didn't feel like you had any outsiders. A lot of people that were in the alliance were already in WWE. I mean, WWE could have easily waited a full year. They could have just, instead of being so itching to do this, they could have taken their time, thought it through, waited until 2002 when the NWO came in, and then Goldberg came in a year after that, and you could have started things a year later, a year after the buyout, when some of those Time Warner contracts run out or whatever. Then you start bringing in guys, and now you've got the ability to get your Flairs and your Hogans and guys like that. All they had to do was wait a year. They had enough. They were so hot, and they had stars. They had Rock and Austin, everybody getting over. They could have easily survived a year, and then you could have began the whole thing a whole year later and had much more time to come up with a better story and a better idea of like where you want it to go and the angle and stuff. This was all being made up on the fly, made up as they went. They had Austin just turn heel at WrestleMania, and instead of trying to concentrate on that, they began the invasion angle, and it put him in a weird spot. They're like, well, shit, that means Austin has to join the alliance, because if he doesn't, he's going to be a babyface on the WWE side, and we just went through the trouble of turning him heel in the main event. So it kind of forced him to book things a certain way, and plus you had Triple H was missing for this. Chris Benoit was injured. None of those big WCW names were available. It was so dumb looking back that they even attempted that. They should have waited. Because think about it. You wait 1 year, think of the names that would have been involved in 2002. Hell, you would have had Shawn getting in the mix of this, because he came back that year too, remember? Ooh. You'd have Triple H. You'd have Shawn. You would have Austin. You'd have Benoit. You'd have some major players there. Bubba's going up. Victor Colon, appreciate the 5 from you, my friend. For a members-only watch-along, let's watch the SmackDown that had the Royal Rumble match on it in January. What one's that? What year? There was a Rumble match on SmackDown? I guess that kind of rings a bell, but I barely remember. Yeah, I'm going to need a date on that. Fill me in on what that one's about. Ooh, big, kind of a sideways flapjack. Oh. Jeff is trying to run away. Did Jim Ross just say that Jeff Hardy is like a North Carolina orangutan? There's no orangutans in North Carolina. SmackDown Rumble in 04. 20-man Rumble for the title. In 04? So who won that? 2004, Eddie won to get a title shot against Brock at No Way Out. Okay. It was after Benoit won the actual Rumble and went to Raw. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that was probably to rectify. Okay, I get it. Okay, interesting. So that's the one that Eddie won to face Brock. Oh, yeah, I kind of didn't even realize that's how Eddie got that title shot. I forgot how it came to be. So it came to be by him winning a Battle Royal. Okay. Or a Royal Rumble, I should say. Interesting. Might be an interesting one to watch. All right, well, we got a dead spot in this cage match. I am all out of green Stella. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm going to have another green thing, too. Oof. Oh, Matt got smashed hard on there. Oh, it was a 15-man Rumble, not a 20-man. Yeah, that would be tough to pull off. A 2-hour show. Yeah, I forgot about the XFL stuff, right? It was going on around this time too, right? Or earlier in the year, I guess. It's probably already dead by this point. Good. All right, there's a good wide shot of LA and SoFi. I've got to find a place to stay. Got to start looking for a hotel. Oh, missed. Oh, big Bubba Bomb. Nobody there either. The escaping the cage thing is even dumber in tag team matches because you're essentially leaving one of your partners out. Plus, because you're not tagging in here either. This is just fucking tornado, but you can't go very far. I always thought Bubba could move so good for a big guy. Oh, yeah, Gilbert. I remember watching the World Series that year. I remember being disappointed. I'm no Yankees fan, but I was really rooting for the Yankees in that because I thought that would be great for that city and just what it just went through and how horrible that was. And, I mean, a World Series can't make up for it, but, you know, it might be a good, you know, solidarity moment, not only for the city, but for the country. And the fucking Diamondbacks fucked it up, assholes. They won. And I remember watching that with the... in 2001 with a girl I was dating at the time at her house with her roommate and a couple of her friends. And I think it was Game 7, right? That thing went 7. And I remember being kind of bummed that the Yankees didn't win. It felt like there was no way they could lose with, you know, what happened in the literal entire world and globe, you know, showing support to a city here in our country. I was like, how are you going to lose that? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He is Tree of Woad up in the top of the cage. Yikes. I'd be losing consciousness upside down like that. Oh, God. A what's up from all the way back there? Come on, Matt. Get yourself unhooked. Yeah, it's like, I know they won in the previous and year after, but they didn't win that one. They should have won that one. Oh, Stacy's getting a table. Nick Patrick. Oh, my God. You don't deserve this, Nick. Oh, Stacy pickpocketed Patrick. And look at how gracefully Stacy took off that lock. Every time there's a padlock or anything like that in wrestling, nobody can ever get it off. Stacy had no issue with that. She's like, give me that key. Here's how you do it, idiots. She unlocked it like it was nothing. Oh, now he's like, hey, you picked my pocket. Will you do it again? Don't pretend like you're mad, Nick Patrick. Oh, 3D intercepted and countered. Jeff. Oh, I know that as a Red Sox fan, but I mean, I just think at that point, I would root for them because of what happened. I mean, even Red Sox, I think at Fenway, they sang like "I Love New York," right? Like right after the attack. So even Boston fans had New York's back in that, because it went way deeper than sports rivalries and stuff. So I'd like to think if I was on the other side of that rivalry in a similar situation, and if I was a Red Sox fan, I would be rooting for them. And Matt is down. Matt's down. He's on the outside of the ring. Fans are cheering because they're stupid. Jeff is now alone in a handicap match. Good job, Matt. Oof. I'm trying to think of a team that I hate a lot. I'm trying to think of a team that I hate the most. If their city was terribly attacked and they made it to the championship game and I didn't, or my team didn't, I would root for them, It's not like they're playing against your team. There he goes. Jeff has got the match won. Now here's Matt signaling, come on now, come on. Matt's bleeding. And Jeff sees this golden opportunity here to give us a thrill. I don't see myself, but I'm certain I was standing up here. And he moved, and that table exploded perfectly. And it's so perfectly buried over top of Jeff. You didn't want the Bruins to win after the Boston bombing? And the Dudleys win because Jeff is a selfish bastard. That's really funny, Zach. Well, I guess you guys are just cold-hearted bastards, man, and I'm the only one with a heart in this world. Trust me, I have no love for the Yankees. I don't give a fuck if they lose every game of the season. Don't care. I was like, but that particular year, I was rooting for them. And I always rooted for them when they played the Braves because everybody I lived around were big Braves fans. So it was fun to watch them not happy. A kid in middle school when, or maybe I was in high school. No, I was still in middle school when the Braves played the Blue Jays in the World Series. And I was rooting for the Blue Jays because all the little kids around in North Carolina were all bandwagon jumpers. Of course, the Braves were good. They had that chant, and they all loved it. And it was kind of close to North Carolina, so they just all gravitated and all jumped on the Braves bandwagon. Next thing you know, our entire school is crawling with Atlanta Braves jerseys and shirts and merch, and everybody was a Braves fan all of a sudden. So naturally, I'm going to root for the Blue Jays. And I remember this, my friend, little hick, he's like, man, Greg, you root for the Blue Jays. It's going against your country. You realize that, right? Just talk to me like I'm the dumb one. You realize that you're going against your country, your own country, by rooting for them. Like, he was really mad, really offended that I was cheering for the Blue Jays. And I'm like, well, the Blue Jays are in the American League. And he's like, well, you're still going against your country. I'm like Toronto's so fucking close, man. It is America. There's no difference between that city and a city 100 miles below it. Poor Jeff. You're rooting against your country. Todd was his name. Little Todd. I'm like, no, I never really looked at it that way, Todd. I didn't really think of it as a patriotic issue. I just think I like Joe Carter better than Tom Glavine. Jeff blew it, disintegrated. Poor Jeff. Yeah, Lita and Matt both look a little upset. Yes, King Blah. I mentioned that earlier. I am wearing a Kurt Angle It's True shirt, but I'm wearing it over top of a gray hoodie, so it almost looks like I'm wearing a It's True hoodie. Because it matched it perfectly. And I remember when I put it on, because I mean, it was November, it's a little chilly. So I'm like, I want to wear a wrestling shirt, but I don't want to be cold, and I don't want to wear a jacket. So I had this gray hoodie, and it just matched perfectly the shirt. And I'm like, if I just put the shirt over top of it, it will just look like one, because they didn't make any Kurt Angle hoodies. I would have bought a Kurt Angle hoodie if they had one. So I kind of made my own, and that's what I wore to the show that night. But I remember that particular hoodie. I remember it, too. It didn't have, like, a zipper. It was just, like, it was basically a thick shirt like this with a hood. So it almost looked like I'm wearing a turtleneck or something. But, here, I'll show you. Like, right here. Like, see, there was no hood. It just kind of was, like, around my neck a little bit, but it was warm. But, yeah, I kind of did a makeshift wrestling shirt there. Oh, there's Foley, second to last night in the company. Yeah, why is the commissioner in New York? Good question.
Unfortunately, though, as a commissioner, I've got to answer to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon has ordered me here. So although I'm having a good time in New York City, I'm piling up a hell of a bill and billing it to Vince McMahon.
I'm piling up a hell of a bill. Good for you.
In Greensboro, and as long as the WWF commissioner has to answer to the owner, Vince McMahon, then the truth is the commissionership is kind of a joke.
He is not happy. Vince McMahon or Mick Foley is not happy. He's right, because Vince kind of took over as the figurehead.
3 years with WCW, 6 great years with the WWF. So inside, I am pulling. I'm still a WWF person. I'm pulling for the WWF, but regardless of who wins, if it's the Alliance, then I'm out of a job. But if it's WWF, I'm telling you this, I'm on the first plane to Charlotte, and I've got some choice words for Mr. McMahon.
Oh, wow, good.
I'll make it a point to be in Charlotte tomorrow morning.
Okay. So he's heading to Charlotte, just like me. See you there, Mick. Actually, I won't. Oh, Scotty Too Hottie. Hopefully this is not a match against a girl. What's it to you, Test? Oof. Oh, Scotty. Test takes him out. Imagine Scotty gets travel booked, packs, kisses his dog and cat goodbye, gets on a plane, flies to fucking Greensboro, gets dressed for gear, gets in his gear. Agent comes to him and says, "Oh, yeah, know that battle royal you're in? Yeah, you're not. You're not anymore." Okay, the bodies are hitting the floor. I'm going to turn this music down. So we've got Just Incredible, Lance Storm. We've got Raven back there. DDP, Stevie Richards, Tommy Dreamer, Billy Kidman. Who else is out there? Hurricane. Who's the dude in the purple? Oh, that's Stasiak, huh? It's meat. We got some meat in the ring. Oh, here comes Test. Taking out Hottie of Scotty's. Oh, man. Test, you sneaky fuck. Immunity. If you win this match, you get immunity. I'm standing there stoic with my arms crossed. What a boss. Yeah, they used bodies hit the floor for SummerSlam too, I remember. I remember like the video package they had for that. All of the action from the wrestlers in the ring, it was all filmed at like a house show. It was all real dark, or they actually filmed it in an empty arena or something. It was all weird looking. I didn't love it. Okay, here comes the WWE side. We've got the Acolytes, Crash Holly, rest in peace. #1 SmackDown Battle Royal announcer, Funaki. Who else we got? I can't see. Looks like Saturn, Billy Gunn, Chuck with the long hair still, Albert. Spike Dudley's in there. All right, and there we go. And Stasiak is out. Just like that. We got a 16-13 game in this KC-LA matchup here with 3 minutes to go in the second. Here comes Taz. He's homicidal and genocidal. No, that's Sabu. He's homicidal, genocidal, and spermicidal lube. Yeah, that's right. 1 bottle of spermicidal lube. What movie's that from? Look at how surprised Paul Heyman is to see Taz. Yeah, Billy and Chuck just formed. He's a dead guy. Yeah, I think Taz had recently kind of bucked the Alliance system there, didn't he? Didn't they do the deal with Meat where like they drugged him with Viagra and then he had to go out and wrestle with like just a huge English cucumber? Super bad. Yeah, there you go. Me and Elizabeth are watching Arrested Development right now, and it's fun to see Michael Cera that young, even before Superbad. Oh. Hurricane's gone. I don't remember what happened to Taz missing his cue to choke out Heyman. I forget what that was. I'm sure I've seen it. I just don't remember. I'll tell you, if you want a drinking game, take a drink every time Greg's like, I don't remember. I'm like, I kind of remember. I just don't remember the details. Man, my seats were good. Look how fucking close I am. I'm like 2 rows up there from the bottom. $17-13 Chargers. Oh, I must have caught that score before a PA attempt. Oh, Chuck went out and he landed on someone. Speaking of Battle Royals next year, who's this? It's Hugh Morris and Chavo. Were they in the company at this time? Was Hugh Morris in the... I don't even remember Hugh Morris being a part of the invasion. Was he around for this? I forgot when Chavo and Hugh Morris showed up. Holy shit. We should have gotten a Hugh Morris versus Steve Austin match on Raw or SmackDown. That would have been fun, since Hugh Morris was the first victim of Goldberg. I forgot about General Rection. Oh, there goes Chavo into Hugh Morris. Oof. Crash Ollie is out, so is Dreamer. So this might have been Chavo's debut. I barely even remember this. I didn't remember this happen. I'm sitting like this right now. I'm looking with great interest. I'm probably trying to pay attention to this Battle Royal. So much to watch. You don't have the benefit of commentary when you're in the crowd. Chavo and Hugh were in the Alliance from the beginning. Okay. I love that I have no recollection of them. I'm literally sitting in the audience watching this and I don't remember. Oh, yeah, you might be right. I guess Morris was around. I mean, I know he was there long enough to impress and get a coaching job and shit. You big fat bat up. There you go, Taz. Oh, no. Taz and Paul Heyman. Look at Heyman taunting him. You suck. Come on, Taz. Gotta do better than that. You suck and then you walk away. Would ECW Taz do that? Kerwin White, my God. Oh, Kidman's going to go for a ride. Fall away slam over the top rope. Yes. Pretty good by Bradshaw. Oh, look at Brian Hebner, the lost Backstreet Boy with that terrible hair. I've seen, I can't give specific examples. I don't even follow Brian Hebner, but I've seen him tweet a couple of things that were kind of dumb. And some of like the Impact crew like schooled him, which I kind of thought was funny. I'm like, this kid's clueless. You blithering idiot. Yeah, Jim Ross is getting fed up with Heyman shit. Kerwin White is the Mexican Carlton Banks. Or the Latino Carlton Banks. I like it. He kind of is. There was like back in like Eddie Murphy's early SNL days, he did like a whiteface skit where he painted himself white and he called himself Mr. White and went like on a bus and there's like one black person on the bus and then the bus stops and they get off and then as soon as they get off like they start busting out hors d'oeuvres and champagne. He gets treated well, red carpet rolled out for him and all this crap. Gets hired very easily with no references, no second interview, nothing. Pretty funny. I always thought like kind of Kerwin White was maybe loosely based off that. We are our final four here if Billy's going to hang on. We got Lance, JBL. Test gets rid of JBL and Lance. Or Bradshaw, I should say. Now we're down to Billy and Test. Wow, two fucking hoss fight here. Look at this. Look at the shape Billy is in. Oh. Test wins. I do not look pleased. I saw disgust on my face. Ah, shit. I thought the Immunity Battle Royal winner would be somebody more interesting. I did like the idea, though, of the Immunity Battle Royal. I mean, if you're actually going to say that the losing team, everybody's fired, you know, a battle royal for immunity, that's pretty high stakes, you know? But somehow Test was able just to enter it by beating up one guy. What's with every promo tonight by these doors? Vince and Linda did the same thing. Why are they just at the back? Like, hey, every backstage thing we do tonight, it's going to be in the back by them doors. All the way in the back. As far back as you go. The doors that lead to the dumpsters. That's where we're going to. Because definitely, don't those doors look like two doors that would lead to your trash area? So why are all the conversations in front of that? If I'm AEW, Danny Allmark, I'm not even considering doing a Hall of Fame for 10 years. No earlier than that. No reason to start it any earlier than that. 10 minimum. I'd probably actually wait like 15 or something, but I'd go 10. 10 years from now. Put in your Jerichos. Jericho #1. Jericho. Calling it here first. Jericho will be AEW's Andre the Giant. He will go in first. I even think he'll go in before Brody Lee. Here comes Trish. Trish was starting to get better. I was starting to like her. Not quite yet, but she was getting there. And in 2002 was when I was really like, oh, okay, Trish knows what she's doing. Not Punk. No, unfortunately, I don't think Punk will be the first Hall of Fame inductee. It will be Jericho. It has to be. He was so vital and crucial to them, and especially now that he's sticking around for 5 more years. The women's title was vacated after China left, and they were crowning the new champion here. Is that what we're saying? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was... I don't know why I was thinking this was a one-on-one match between Trish and Jazz. I forgot Trish and Lita even worked. Or, I'm sorry, I forgot Lita and Jacqueline even worked on this show. Victor Cologne, thanks for the $2. Why couldn't WWE just wait a year to do the invasion? I was literally saying that earlier. And, oh, Ivory's here too. And I laid it out as to why that was important. So you're either just reiterating what I said because you agree with me, or you missed my whole rant about that very thought. So I agree with you, Victor. They should have waited. They would have done nothing to wait. Oh, everybody's in this. Ivor's in this. Mighty Molly's in it. Here comes the Mightster. Holy sidekick, Hurricane. Mighty Molly. So funny. God, I remember that music, hearing that in the crowd and stuff. God, I can smell the arena. Like, I remember everything. Oh, yeah, Jazz. I like her porn music. No way. She had 0 reaction. This Jazz, who was a big deal in ECW. And it is kind of cool. To me, this was a dream match for me. I had not seen Jazz and Jacqueline in the same place before. And Jacqueline was like one of the first ever like women, kind of strong women in wrestling, because, you know, sure, you had the Medusas and the Sherrys, but you didn't have anybody who was jacked. And then Miss Texas came around, and she's starting to body slam dudes and stuff, you know, and then China. And then you see Jazz in ECW doing much of the same. So when she came in, I'm like, oh, this will be interesting. I have no idea the history on Miss Jacqueline and Jazz, and if they have ever crossed paths other than here. JJ Jazz with a Mia Yim crowd reaction. I mean, back then we were starting to end the days of where it kind of mattered where you were in the country in terms of who fans are going to recognize, because, you know, the internet wasn't quite in full swing yet. So I do think that Jazz would have been more recognized in Philadelphia or New York than she was here in Greensboro. A few years later, I don't think it's going to matter so much which city you're in, but there is somebody who's attended shows in the North, in the South, and out here in the West. Fans are different in different places. They absolutely are. And there was a definite vibe to the Southern fans. And a lot of them, I wouldn't expect them to know who Jazz is, you know? Here comes Trish. I didn't realize there's like tag rules in this bullshit. I have no idea what this even... I don't even know what we're watching here, this match. And by the way, I swear to Jesus, I have this VHS. And damn it, I went up and down my shelf, back and forth 5 or 6 times. I cannot find it. I swear I have it. I wouldn't not have it. So I don't know where it is. And every time I look back, I'm like, maybe I'm going to see it, or it's going to like magically appear, but I just can't find it. I swear I have it, though. I know I have it because I've held it in my hands. So anyway, I don't know where my Survivor Series 2001 VHS tape is, but I've got one. I was going to have it here and set it all in the background all nice and nice, but... Oh, so this is a 6-pack challenge? Okay. I always in my head, I lump six-pack challenges and scrambles together. I don't know why. They're totally different matches, but I think I'm not a fan of either. And so I kind of think of them as the same. Oh, Molly, careful, girl. Wow. Nice somersault ass smash there. Well, so far my favorites in this match are Trish and Mighty Molly because they're wearing pink and black. Oh, damn, Ray, I forgot. Are we supposed to get a My Sacrifice on here, and it's probably not going to be on here? So that means we can't hear that wonderful Creed song that's so wonderful. Hello, my friend. Oh, shut up. I love the sign in the front row, the pink sign. It says lucky bastards with arrows pointing down to themselves. That's good. Ooh. Yeah, so if you're not watching on Peacock and you're watching on the network or somewhere else, you might have gotten to see the My Sacrifice, but we don't get to see it. And there's Trish is our new women's champion. Wow, I saw a lot of title changes on this night. I've seen some great things. I've watched Trish win the title. Now, not only have I watched Trish win the women's title in person, I've seen Trish lose the Intercontinental title in person. She got pinned by China at SummerSlam. The Undisputed. I was also at the show where Trish was like enticing Bubba on the table in her lingerie. That was in Raleigh. First of 7 championships for Trish Stratus. That's crazy. Mike, I said earlier I didn't bring a sign to the show. I remember specifically having that thought process. I knew my seats were great. I knew this was a high-stakes pay-per-view. I had already been to a million shows and taken signs and had all that fun. I was like, you know what? We're not going to do the signs tonight. I want to go. I want to enjoy. I don't want to distract myself or block my own view or anything like that. I just want to watch the show. But if I would have brought a sign, it would have been on camera. I had no good mic work commentaries to plug, so all I would have done is written something stupid on the sign. I'm not going to miss you at all, he said. I was out of the hotline game by this point as well. I wasn't really doing that anymore. So, oh, here comes Vince, the big pep talk. Was this match an hour long or something? It's elimination, right? Here we go. Rock's ready. Firstly,
every confidence that Team WWF will be victorious here tonight. Every confidence in it. However,
it's a great team. Look at them.
I am a pragmatist, and I realize I could be looking at a group.
Rock just can't stop moving around.
And if that were to happen here tonight, if you were to lose this match tonight, I would like for you to remember a number of things.
Now, Vince was originally supposed to be on the team, and then he replaced himself with Big Show, I believe.
That would ever forgive you. Not one. Should you lose this match tonight?
Yeah, Taker's one of his last nights with long hair because after the invasion angle was over, they started having to do shit with their guys again. So they decided to move Taker heel. It was a good move. I remember when he turned on JR. Like, wasn't he in the ring with JR and he like punched him or something? Yeah, this is a long match. Not a jabroni on that team right there. That is an understatement, JJ. I mean, when your weakest link is the Giant, you got a pretty good fucking team.
Those who have passed on, yet their spirit still lives here in the World Wrestling Federation. Names like Buddy Rogers. Names like Dr. Jerry Graham.
Oh, Jerry Graham. Vince loves Jerry Graham. That's Vince's favorite wrestler. He was a huge inspiration and influence to Vince. Vince had very odd heroes, and for some reason, Dr. Jerry Graham was one of Vince's. He high chiefed Peter Maivia to Rock's face, motivating him. When I was watching the Polynesian wrestling on the Tales from the Territories, I did not realize how young Maivia was when he died. He died at 45, my age. I thought he was way older. Vince cutting a long motivational speech here. Danny Allmark, there will be no watch-along a week from tonight. It's Thanksgiving weekend. My schedule's jacked. I am off on Thanksgiving, but I'm going to be working the weekend. So I actually will be at work next Sunday night. So there will be no watch-along, unfortunately. So sorry about that. We're going to make up for it somewhere, though. SNH 61, I understand too. I don't understand the Stone Cold face turn either. I was in the building the next night on Raw when he basically just was a face again. Went back to his old music shortly after that. And then lost to that dude right there, right here in San Diego at Vengeance. All right, Vince. I mean, look at this. This is the enemy. WCW is being led by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle. That makes no sense. Booker T's the only goddamn one that makes sense there. And Shane McMahon is also. So it's Shane, Austin, and Angle are like the front line there. And then you got one WCW guy in Booker T and one ECW guy in Rob Van Dam. That's it. It's shit. It's garbage. It's ridiculous. So they're showing the Vince proposition here on Raw. Yeah, they should have, Zach. If they really wanted to get Austin over as a heel, he should have became Stunning Steve Austin again. He wouldn't have the long blonde hair, but I think he could still pull it off because he was very good at being comedic. And if he would have came out there in a robe, you know, like he used to, oh my God. And instead of, you know, Deborah could pass as a double for Jeannie. And Deborah could just play. I mean, it would be perfect. It'd be perfect. He should have done it. Fans would have hated that. Yeah, after 9/11, Raw was no longer Raw is War. It was just Raw. That's why. And I also, when they crowned the Undisputed Champion, I don't think Vengeance was supposed to be Vengeance. It was supposed to be Armageddon. So they dropped War and they dropped Armageddon, understandably. I just finished up Stranger Things Season 4. And when the season started, there was like a disclaimer, like, yo, we filmed this before the tragedy, one of those mass shootings. I forget which one, of course, because there's so many. One of the more recent big ones. And like, we filmed this before, you know, we didn't mean if this offends anybody or it's sensitive material or whatever, we sincerely apologize, but as part of the story, we can't cut it out. But they were at least making it known that, yeah, this might hit close to home for some. The Alliance. The Alliance is such bullshit. I mean, we talked about it. Think about it. Think if they waited 1 year. Think if they just waited 1 year to begin this. The names, the planning they could have done. Looking back, I mean, you make the decisions you make at the time without the benefit of hindsight. So it's easy to say these things now, but when you look back, I just don't get why they didn't realize that they're still riding very hot. WWE is doing incredible business. Their talent is super over. They have huge stars. They could have easily still done great business that whole year, just as good as they did with the Invasion, packing out just as many houses, selling just as many pay-per-views, and they would have not suffered at all in 2001. I got to turn down this horrible music. Jesus. They would not have suffered at all in 2001, just treading water with the talent they had until they got far enough in to some of those WCW contracts were running out to where they could bring in or contact a Hogan or Hall or Nash or Flair or Goldberg. A lot of those guys would come around in 02 and 03. So if they just waited 1 year from the buyout date of WCW and they started in March 2002, right around WrestleMania 18, you would have had the NWO. You would have had Flair. You could have brought in a lot of guys that were now all of a sudden available, and the Alliance and the Invasion, angle would have carried much more weight, and you never would have had to merge with ECW to begin with. Hell, WWE might have called in ECW to help them. So it would have been so much different, so much better if they would have done that. And I also think the writers and the writing team and everybody that was on the team at that time could have spent that year planning, okay, in the event of that we're able to get the NWO or Flair, let's start writing ideas for these guys. So next year when we do a big WCW versus WWE thing, we're ready, we have ideas, we got planning, we know where we want to go. Oh man, I just think if they had the benefit of a year of planning, imagine the possibilities that we could have gotten. But it was watered down right from the word go. Massive failure in WWE during a time when they were doing insane-o business. WrestleMania 17, I felt like couldn't get any bigger. Like, I thought that was really WWE's peak, the hottest, the largest they've been ever since WrestleMania 3. And it's funny how it started kind of immediately treading downwards right after that. I mean, that really was their shark jumping, you know. Austin turned heel that night. A lot of fans look back on that as a mistake. So even though WrestleMania 17 was one of their best pay-per-views in history, it also marked about the most successful WWE would ever be in terms of fan involvement. If you're talking dollars, then that's a whole different thing. But in terms of fan interest, attendance, ratings, merch, no time was hotter. Look at Finkel. Yeah, Rob Van Dam still had kind of like the basic version of what his spiced up rock theme that he would have. Another terrible decision and something I did not like during the Invasion angle is I didn't like Kurt Angle turning heel. I thought it was stupid. He had just gotten himself over as a babyface, and I remember the night kind of that it happened. It was on Raw, and it was a big brawl between the Alliance and WWE, and Angle was a part of that on WWE's side, and he fought his ass off, but he was a heel. And after WWE had ran off the Alliance guys, Undertaker was the one that went up to Kurt Angle and reached his hand out and lifted Kurt Angle up. And I remember as a fan, I'm like, oh my God, I fucking love that. Like, that was so meaningful to me as a fan. I'm like, that was the seal of approval. Angle, you're one of us. You're a tough son of a gun, and you're on our side now. And then he was dominant over Austin in their feud, made Austin cry, made him look like a bitch, beat the shit out of him at SummerSlam, won the title from him at Unforgiven. And then just a couple of weeks later on Raw, he loses the title, and then shortly after that, he turns heel and joins the Alliance. What during the time when 9/11 had just happened and you kind of need that, American kind of patriotic gimmick. They have it. He's a wrestler that everybody likes and respects. The fans do anyway. And I was really surprised they turned him back into a heel. He's a great heel, and they should have definitely revisited Angle as a heel, but they did it way too soon. He was finally getting that respect and that admiration from the fans. I loved him, and I was super disappointed that not only they took the belt off of him, but they turned him heel and he joined the Alliance after fighting so hard against him. Stupid. Made no sense. Look at these two staring each other down. I did kind of like Austin's theme there. Oh, there's my thumbnail shot right there. Just saw it. Well, it's the stupidest fucking song in the world. God, I hated the Big Show's theme. I didn't like the Big Show's, and I didn't like Mr. Ass, and I didn't like the one Billy Gunn had after that. The one Billy Gunn, actually. But the song Billy Gunn had after that with that dude singing. But I don't think any of them are as bad as Undertaker's You're Gonna Pay. That, I think, is the worst theme song in wrestling history. It's so terrible. You've done it now. Ugh. Kill me. Here comes Kane. I was a huge Kane fan back in the day. I was a Kane mark. Appreciated him. Always liked his work. See, look at Edge with that hat on. Doesn't he look like the Puddle of Mud singer? He's got that backwards hat on. I remember seeing that. I'm like, Edge looks like the Puddle of Mud guy. Maybe that's what he was going for. Mike, what was invented? I don't know how bad the what chance got by this point. Austin really amplified it when he went babyface, and he was starting to use that as a way to get the crowd riled up. So part of it was, him starting it as a heel, but it carried over into him being a babyface, and he was saying it all the time on the mic, and it was just horrible. Oh, yeah, Bischoff had some weird-ass guys singing, too. I don't know if it was Bischoff, though. I don't think it was. Girls in Cars was the best. Excuse me, Mike Witt. The worst. Like you don't take a shower when you listen to Girls in Cars? I do. If you're not, what are you doing in life? What's up, Barry? Yeah, we were 2 years away from Kane unmasking. Austin's on the announce table, so he didn't get run overed by the motorbike. Ha! W. Morrissey, Edge, Puddle of Mud guy, and Jason Worth from the Phillies, all the same guy. That's very true. They all do look alike. Jason Worth looks a lot like Edge. It's like it's Will Ferrell and the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer. It's like the same thing. It's like it's the same person. There's two of them. God, Paul Heyman is being an asshole on commentary. In a different world, what if Stone Cold stayed heel and Kurt Angle turned face the next night on Raw? I don't know. What would Dwayne, Wayne, and Whitley think of that? I mean, as long as they were okay with it, since it's on their show, and Raw is invading a different world, then yeah, I suppose. But you gotta have to get clearance from them, Victor. Greensboro is Jericho, spelled correctly. Way to go, North Carolina. See? Y'all ain't so bad. I miss all of you. That's right. Jericho and Rock were having all sorts of problems at this point. Jericho beat Rock for the WCW title, I think leading up to this, right? And then Rock won it back from him. And here comes the Rock, man. I got to experience so many Rock entrances. I got to experience his very first theme in the nation. I got to experience Rock's entrance with every theme song he had. The one in 98. And then his 99 theme. And then when it started getting spiced up in 2000, 2001. Oh, Rock and Austin going at it. I think it was was it the previous week? Was it on the Go Home show that Austin and Rock had the big duet? Yeah, the Rock as WCW champion was definitely weird. Okay, yeah, because at first it was kind of a friendly rivalry, right, with Rock and Jericho. And they did that promo, Grandpa Jimmy Jack Jericho, or whatever it was. And then Jericho started, they started not getting along. And then Rock won it back. Jericho turned officially heel, but he's still on team WWF. Shane McMahon. Oh, I got some. I'm checking my Instagrams here. Wait, is this? No, that's Twitter's. Al Pops went to the house show tonight in State College, Pennsylvania. LA Knight wrestled Ricochet, called him La Noche, started a mini chat. He got on the mic and said his name Ricochet. Start the nickname bow. I don't know what the hell that even means. That's interesting. State College is where they're at. Thanks for the Strike Force video there. Okay, let me go to the other one. What, do I have to approve messages? It says somebody wants to send me a message. Then send it. I feel like I'm like, that famous pic of Shawn Michaels trying to work the internet? That's like me looking at this Instagram. Okay, so I've got this gram. Now, how do I send it to you instantly? How do I do that? I'll figure it out. All right, we got RVD and Jericho. I'm not surprised at all to hear, like, in later years that these two guys are cool with each other, but had a few issues over the years because they really were very competing for the same spot, essentially. I think Rob was better than Jericho in the ring, maybe from an athletic standpoint, but Jericho had him beat in the charisma and stuff. But it's also, that'd be a good Twitter poll. I don't know at this time if right here in 2001, if you had a locker room shoot between Rob Van Dam and Jericho, I don't know who would win. I honestly don't. I think Rob would, but I don't think maybe he wouldn't. Jericho beat up Goldberg. Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm just getting some messages as stuff we're talking about here. Oh, yeah, kick to the gut. I definitely got to follow those guys. I did an interview with them not a couple years ago. Follow them back. Oh, no, Walls of Jericho. Oh, these are great messages. I'm just seeing all these Instagram messages. I didn't know these were in here, so I didn't know how to find them. There's a shitload of them. I'm going to read them later. But thank you for all. Like, I can just tell, like, you know, when you read messages, you can read, like, the first sentence. It's always like, so glad you're here. It's so great. I'm a big fan. That's nice. I will read them. Kane's outfit seems like a different shade of red, or maybe like more 97 red Kane. I don't recall Kane's gear being that color before. Hey, let me ask you, let me just get a little test the water on your feelings on this. If I moved watch-alongs 2 hours earlier on Sundays, sometimes, would that be good or bad for y'all? Would it be better? I know some of you stay up late to watch these. Some games might still be going on, the later day games. If I came up at, well, no, I'd still be coming up at, no, that probably would be coming at like 6 Eastern or something like that. Like, what if I came up at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, like I would for a Winged Eagle? Ooh, Elizabeth recently had her schedule changed at work. She's a pit boss in a casino. So she now works, she goes into work a little bit later. So I have to basically boot her out of the studio, which our bathroom is in and stuff like that, to do watch-alongs. So I think I just heard her leave for work. So I might want to move things around a little bit to help her here and there. I just don't know if it would work for you guys. But I might do that sometimes. I kind of prefer doing it at night for me because I can drink beers and stuff. And if I did it earlier in the afternoon, I might not want to do that. But I think I might try to put some of these watch-alongs earlier in the day here and there to help her out. That way I'm not inconveniencing her. Because she's fine. We have other bathrooms. She can totally get ready in other parts of the house. But this is like we basically, the two of us have an apartment separate from the house. And that's where I do all my YouTubing from. So here and there, we might be doing that. Just a little pre-warning. One thing I definitely wouldn't do is move it to later. I would love to. I would actually like to start later. I would love to start at 8 o'clock my time, but that means if you're on the East Coast, it would be 11 o'clock, and don't want to do that to y'all. So, yeah, if it was up to me, I'd go later, but I just don't think that would work for many of you, and I know I would see people saying, like, oh, I got to go to bed, or I got to get up, can't stay up late, sorry, that type of thing. So I think my only option is to go backwards in time and do it earlier. Ooh. Yeah, because ideally, I would like to start right now. It's 7 o'clock. That's when I would like to start, but that means it would be a 10 p.m. start time for those on the East Coast, and that might be asking a lot. Booker T up. Ooh, ouch. Texas has got some good representation in this match. My God, Booker, Taker, Austin. Well, the reason I would want to do it 2 hours earlier, so I would be done by now. So basically, I would do it earlier so I'm finished in time for Elizabeth to be able to get ready and do what she's got to do. Because she works very late at night. We have crazy lives in this house, man. I work late nights. She works late nights. But I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Ample free time, can sleep as late as I want every day. I'm never jarred out of bed by a fucking alarm. I never start the day with a headache. Oh, big miss by Austin. Old school. Oh, Jesus, he slipped a little bit. It was almost like the ropes were wet or his foot was wet. Yikes. My God, Shane McMahon. All right, I'm going to go get, well, since we got 40 minutes left here, I'm going to go get another cold one and eat the rest of this. Be right back. Ray Fran, Starcade 97. We're doing that next month, December. It's already on my calendar. Starcade 97, we are absolutely going to watch. I don't know if we'll do another Survivor Series now. I think we only got a chance to do what, 2? I know we've done 3. We did Survivor Series 98, 95, and this one. Since we're not doing one next week, we would, it's going to be December by the time we have time to get back here for another one. Oof. So yeah, this will probably be a wrap on Survivor Series. We got 3 done this month. We would have gotten 4, but unfortunately I'm not available next week. Thanksgiving holiday makes things a little jacked. Armageddon 09. That's a really late one. Jeff wins his first title. That might be fun to watch. I just have so little interest in the product from those years, you know? Like, I was so mentally checked out. I hadn't even started doing YouTube yet. I was barely watching. Just didn't care. To me, all the great shit had already happened. But I'll throw it on a poll. I at least owe you that, Zach. I think I don't know if I want to pick to do that one myself, but if I throw it up on a poll and it wins, then that'll give me a reason. Oh, 2008. Armageddon 2008. We eat, what does that sign say? We eat beef? We eat beefaroni. We eats beefaroni. Rob Van Dam's going up. 5-star Froggy. The Big Show. They're going to give, everybody's going to take their finish, or give him their finish. Big elbow. And Big Show gets eliminated. Oh no. Your weakest link got eliminated. He's getting jiggy with it. Who's missing on the Alliance? Did somebody get eliminated that I missed? Oof. Oh, no, RVD's there. He's on the floor. Okay. I was about to say, where's he? Ah, We Are Pro Wrestling this Tuesday in Texas. That would be a good members-only one because I think that's a shorter one, I think. I actually do like the idea of doing this Tuesday in Texas. Time out. Toomey. Shane's holding on tight. Protect that. Ooh, wow, that was a good-looking tombstone. Okay, we briefly disconnected, but I think we're fine. Timer keeps running, show keeps running, and you guys should have kept running. So even though we paused, hopefully we're not off. Just follow the timer, sync the timer. But I liked on that Lion Salt Jericho the way he spun around and faced the other corner when he went for the pin, not allowing his leg to be grabbed or anything like that. Yeah, this Tuesday is only an hour and a half long. I didn't know that, Barry. Yeah, that could be a good members-only one. I like to do shorter ones for members-only. If we can beef up our audience on these watch-alongs and we can get consistently 100 or 200 watchers every time, I will do double duty and shit. So pass me along, share me. Let's try to beef up these things. I'd be happy to do 2 short ones or 2 two-hour ones on a Sunday, you know, to spice things up. I think we're going to do double duty whenever we have the members-only ones, but I'll do it even more often if there's a reason to, you know? Pass me around. Don't do that, but you know what I mean. Yeah, too bad, Shane. Yeah, watch-alongs are great because they're easy content to do, and they're also fun because it takes very little, you know, preparation. If I want to make a fancy screen or overlay or something, I can, but it doesn't really take much to do one in terms of production. And don't have to prep, don't have to make notes, just have to hang out. And a lot of times that can be really easy, and it provides content. It keeps the channel moving and fresh when I'm too busy to do regular episodes or whatnot. So watch-alongs are crucial. Back in the day, my Raw watch-alongs got huge numbers, and that really beefed up the channel and subscribers too. I mean, I was on a 1,500 subscriber a month increase there for a couple of years, pretty steadily. And we'd have huge numbers on Mondays, anywhere from 10 to 50,000 views on the live reactions. And then everything just changed in YouTube, and things got a lot different. Now we got to rely on our core, on our family, and that's you guys. Hey, Nick Musser's in the house. What's going on, dude? Mike Witt, I think we did Rumble 90. Pretty sure we did. Feel like we did. We got to start thinking about Rumbles next year. Big 5-star to Kane. Is that going to be it? Angle's yelling at him. Booker, oh, Undertaker's pissed. God damn it, Booker. Here comes Angle. Oh, Lord, they're all in now. It's busting loose. Oh, I'm pointing to something. I'm looking at something. I'm watching myself, too. It's kind of funny. I'm definitely marking out. Oh, and Kane's eliminated with a top rope chin kick from RVD. Mania 4 is on the schedule and on the calendar for Mania Season 2 because I definitely want to do Starrcade 97 for Starrcade and WrestleMania 4 this year for WrestleMania. So we will do it. I did a review and a watch-along of Royal Rumble 90s. Yeah, so Royal Rumble 90's out. We've done 97. A couple years I can tell you right off the bat I don't like is 98 and 99. I have no interest in doing them. But I suppose we could do 99 because that Foley Mankind that Mankind Rock match. But oof. Snake eyes to Kurt. He's down. Ugh. Booger Red. I forgot Jim Ross likes to call him that. Booger Red was that same sort of nervous tick that he has with Jack Perry, Jungle Boy. It's like the same thing. Royal Rumble 04 would be a good one. 03 or 04, I think I'd be into. Undertaker's eliminated. Oh, nice. Mike Witt. Thanks for the follow, everybody who's hitting us up on Instagram today. I'll be posting much more over there as time goes by. Oh. Booker and The Rock. There's a sign in the front row, Booker T. Mark. Like, bitch, who's the one buying front row seats to a wrestling show? Irony much? Michael, that's the exact same thing I said for a decade. I don't know when Instagram was invented or what year it came around, but I swear it's been 10 years of me being like, I'll get an Instagram. And I never got an Instagram. Oh, another great sign. First row virgins. I love that. First row virgins. Everybody's got to pop their cherry at the first time sitting in the front row. I remember my first front row. It was great. Didn't even have to buy at dinner first. Ooh, down goes Angle. No way. We're going to pin Booker with a roll-up. Uh-oh, Alliance looks worried. Booker T is... Look at the Brooklyn Brawler on WWF's side. I love that. They had to stick Brawler in there. He should be in there. Lombardi's been a big part of WWF. Great band name. Yeah, when I said Booker T and The Rock, I'm like, that'll make a great band name. Maybe you mean the same thing. What's way better about my experience watching Survivor Series 2001 than that night when I was at Survivor Series 2001 is I don't have a long-ass drive afterwards. I don't have to push and shove to get out of the building, fight traffic home. Although I will go to Waffle House and have some hash browns smothered, covered, and chunked, and scattered, and sauced, or whatever else. I rarely ate breakfast at Waffle Houses. Whenever I went, they had great like patty melts and shit. I would always just get that. Fucking delicious. They'd have like this big steak sandwich on like Texas toast. Oh my God, so good. I'd eat the shit out of that. Such good late night food. Oh my God. Bulldog to RVD. Another lion salt coming up. Landed on his feet. Spin kick, heel kick to Jericho. Here's the thing. Waffle House is not really necessarily good. It's good for the bullshit money you're putting down for it. It's cheap as dirt. So for shit that costs dirt, it's good. It's not meant to be fancy. Oh, and RVD is out. One time I ordered a steak and eggs, and she's like, "How do you want it?" And I'm like, "I can get it somewhere." I'm like, "Medium rare if you can do it." But I mean, it's just these thin, tiny, thin steaks. It does not matter how you order that steak. It's well done. I thought that was funny. I'm like, "How do I want it done? Is that thin ass little thing?" I'm like, "You're just gonna cook the shit out of it either way." Big slingshot to the Rock, eats the post. I don't know if he gets juice there or not. I don't think so. He doesn't look like he's blading. Oh, I'm just noticing I got some sideburns going on, too. Were sideburns in 2001? I mean, they're not huge, but they're there. I can see them. Oh, Mike Witt, we have Denny's here. I got a Denny's right down the road from me. I love Denny's. I've been eating Denny's would always be option 2 on the road. Whenever I would go to wrestling shows, we would hit a Denny's. I would actually maybe prefer Denny's. It's just Waffle Houses were so everywhere. They were hard to miss. But yeah, I love me some Denny's. Every time I've ever been in a Denny's, it's always been late at night. I've never been in Denny's in daylight, but I've been there at night eating a Grand Slam. They have good shit too. They got good patty melts and they got like sourdough sandwiches and stuff. They got all sorts of good shit. Ooh, actually, I take that back. When I went to Vegas it might have been for SummerSlam, I think me and Elizabeth stopped at a Denny's on the way, and it was daylight, so I stand corrected. I have been in Denny's once in the daylight. I had a patty melt. It's fucking delicious. Superplex coming to Jericho from Austin. Look out, guys. Oh, my God, he's going all the way up. Austin could bump around so much better over this year after he came back from his operation. He wasn't doing that superplex spot post pile driver. After the Owen pile driver, you never saw him doing that. Oh, that is sloppy. Come on, tighten it up, guys. Had to be a bitch wrestling Austin in those knee braces. Oh my God, I had the craziest dream last night. I swear this is a real thing. I put a YouTube short up like a week or so ago about Austin's weird luck at SummerSlam. And one of the SummerSlams I talked about was 99, where he got himself hung over the ropes and his knee brace got all caught up. Last night I dreamt that Saraya, in her match with Britt Baker, had those knee braces on and got all tied up in the ropes at Full Gear, and Britt Baker had to come save her. It was like the sequence replayed in my dream, but it was Saraya getting caught in the ropes and Britt Baker saving her. I have no idea why I dreamed that, but that's what was ricocheting around inside my skull as I was sleeping last night, in case you want to wonder what goes on inside the noodle of mic work. Random dream. Even this morning, I'm like, why the fuck did I dream that? What did I eat that made me dream that? Nice. Yeah, Mike, been to Wisconsin a few times. Been to Milwaukee twice for some family events. My aunt and uncle currently have a cabin up there. And I've had some other family there, too. My Uncle Wally lived up there. I loved eating lake perch. Yum. It's beautiful up there. Lots of lakes, lots of fishing, lots of shit like that. Just not really my cup of tea when it comes to the weather. I always like Laverne and Shirley. Set there in Milwaukee. We're going to do it. Shots Beer Brewing. Oof. A lot of those shows were set in Milwaukee back in the day. Like Mork and Mindy and shit like that. You also dream about women's wrestlers, but they aren't exactly in a ring in my dreams. That's awesome information, Barry. Yeah, I don't know what made me. And both women were, it was in the full gear setting, and both were wearing their normal gear and the gear they were wearing in the match, but for some reason, Saraya just had that shit all over her legs, and she got caught up in the ropes. And AEW's ropes are different, too. They're, like, more cable-y, so they were stiffer, but she was still getting tied up. It was the weirdest thing. It is a 2-on-2 matchup here with Team WWF, The Rock and Jericho, and Angle and Austin. And this is what was so absurd about the alliance. This is the end of WCW. This match officially kills them even more than it was killed a few months earlier during the simulcast. But look at who your Final Four is here. It's 4 WWF guys, not a trace of WCW or ECW. I mean, yeah, I know Jericho and Austin were there and everything, but there's no outsider. There's nobody in this match who wasn't there prior to WCW's buyout, you know? This should be Austin and The Rock against Goldberg and Hogan, you know? This is what this match should be, and it's anything but. Austin and Rock are on opposite sides. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it should have been Angle, when you think about who's healthy at the time, Angle, Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane. That would have been my 5. Angle, Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane. Yeah. On WCW's side, I would have done Goldberg, Hogan, Flair, Nash, and like one other. Sting, if you could get him. I'm trying to think of people who actually came into WWE. Maybe Hall. Just maybe do the 3 members of the NWO, Flair and Goldberg. Oh, that would be great. Sharpshooter on Angle. I forget if he taps here or what. He does. He taps out quickly. So that might have been all part of the master plan here with Angle. But I don't think it was. No, I wouldn't put Steiner on the list or DDP. I'm just trying to think of the ones that embody WCW and the ones that had the most success. I maybe put Steiner or Booker. Sorry, I should have mentioned Booker too. So Booker, Steiner, or DDP would maybe replace Scott Hall. I probably would still keep Nash on the other side. I don't know. You got to have one of them outsiders in there. So I'd probably keep Nash over there. But yeah, maybe replace Scott Hall with Booker T. So Booker, Nash, Goldberg, Hogan, Flair. It's hard to only pick 5. Can it be 10 on 10? That would be much more fun and easier. That way you can include Jericho and Benoit on WWE's side, maybe Triple H. Glacier versus Mordecai. By the time we got to 2001, I had probably seen Chris Jericho wrestle like 20 times by this point. Saw him in so many matches. If Brett would have still been wrestling, I would have had Brett join back WWE probably, but who knows? That would have been a 44-year-old Bret Hart by the time we got to the Invasion. Who would have still been younger than I am right now. Holy shit. I'm as old as Bret Hart was when he had a stroke. Austin is busted open in the mouth. Bad missile drop kick from Jericho. Near fall. Oh, touchdown Kansas City. This is a close game over here. It is now, it's going to be 23-20 Kansas City in the beginning of the 4th. Holy shit. Austin beat Jericho. It's 2-on-1 now. Look at the Alliance is very happy. Yeah, SNH, though, I think ECW was less of an afterthought, though, in this. I think ECW was better represented than WCW was because of what I just talked about. There's nobody available for WCW. They didn't have the big names there, where ECW had a lot of there because they were able to, skull-crushing finale to The Rock. You dirty rat. Where ECW had Raven and Taz and Dudley's. They had a lot of meat from ECW, but WCW didn't have that same meat. Not Stan Stasiak or Sean Stasiak, but actual talent, successful talent in the company. And ECW being able to piggyback off of all WWE's already signed ECW guys, it felt like they had a better representation. Tommy Dreamer, Raven, RVD. Oh, and he kicks out. You had Taz there. Up here comes Undertaker's like, I don't think so, bitch. You got to love Taker. He's always the leader, you know. He's coming out there being like, no, you're not going to go fuck with The Rock and cost him anything. Jericho's like backing off. All right, Taker, all right. If anybody in the chat has not hit that thumbs up button, you could do that. That would be great. Oh, was that a Kelsey touchdown? Oh, it was, huh? I'm retired from fantasy football now, but that dude has scored me a lot of fucking points in previous years. I've tried to pick him up. I think I had him like 4 out of my last 5 seasons or something. Like, he's been amazing. Last time I played, I couldn't get him, and I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Well, if they did an AWA Invasion mic in 1985, that would be fun. Because, my God, the defections you could have. Oh. Or maybe if they came in at like 87 even. You could have guys jumping back. You could have Hennig jump back to AWA. You could have Ricky Martel jump to AWA. Dead meat. Oh, my God. Yeah, Brody. Oh, my God. There's all sorts of guys. You could have the Rockers defect and jump to AWA. And it would be Vince McMahon versus Vern Gagne in the main event of Summerfest. Oh, wow, Rock went out right over. I'd actually like to see a Prime Vern versus a Prime Vince in a fight. I think Vern would break his arm or choke him out. I think Vince would throw some wild punches and maybe get one in. But I think Vern would hook an arm and it'd be over. And Shane versus Greg. Oh, my God. Shane would get on the mic and be like, high flyer my ass. You ain't seen nothing yet. How many top ropes have you soared off of into a table, announce table, Greg Gagne? He was a baseball player, Greg Gagne, too. I think that he was Greg Gagne. I had his baseball card. Maybe he played for the Mets. I forget. Oof. I mean, I was pretty happy to see. I don't think I saw. Oh, actually, yes, I did. I've seen lots of them. I don't know what I'm talking about, but very cool to see Austin and Rock work on pay-per-view, being there in person to watch it. Mm-hmm. Why don't you go up there and do that? Jim Ross like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Rock's fighting it. Oh, yeah, King Bling. I knew 100% WWE was winning this. You could tell the angle was over. It had run its course. There would have been no reason to keep it going and have the Alliance win here and all the WWF stars fired and just drag this shit out longer. Wouldn't have worked. I like how he grabs, make sure he grabs his belt. WWF title. Missed. Oh, shitty looking spine buster. God, that looked terrible. Oh, he's going for the sharpshooter. Sharpshooter on Austin. Austin's got that belt, though. He pulls him away. He's got a terrible sharpshooter. He spits on the camera. WWE shoot changes the name to WCW. I couldn't even imagine them doing that. I mean, there was talk in the early beginnings there of them actually taking Raw, but that would have been stupid. They basically started doing shit with WCW before they really thought anything through on what they should do. And they didn't wait. They didn't take their time. They didn't think about it, think it through. They didn't plan. Stunner to Austin. Crowd's on their feet. We know we're getting close. Here comes a referee. Is that Nick Patrick? Nick Sucktrick? Uh-oh, I'm looking around. I look happy. I know something's up. I saw a smile on my face. I got my belt now. Got to make sure you got that belt. Oh, Nick Patrick. I thought we were going to get more of that. I think we did have a Nick Patrick and Earl Hebner match at one point, didn't we? Fuck you, Nick Patrick. I always hated him so bad as a referee. Austin saving Nick Patrick. He's a true heel now. And Austin gives Rock the receipt, hits him with his own finisher. Not this way. And the Rock kicks out. "1 second away." That was always one of my favorite Paul Heyman calls. 1 second away. And Nick Patrick goes down. Yeah, that's right. They did face it. Oh, they did face an invasion. I remember now. As soon as I said it, I remember. I'm like, oh, yeah, they definitely did that. Oh, nope. Stunner. Oh, my God, it's over. Look at it. Heyman's all excited. And there's nobody to count the three. I mean, this would basically be the end of Austin and Rock's interaction, right? Until Austin retired in 2003. I don't think they had another match again. This was it. And Angle hit Austin. Oh, I'm jumping up and down. I must have loved it. And the rock bottom, and there it is, 1. Felt good. Even though the invasion sucked as a fan, that was just kind of like a... You know, I know I give a lot of fans shit for their tribalism and stuff these days. You know, it's like, but back then, it was different. It was different than AEW and WWE. You know, you had one company actively out to destroy the other one, and all those years of WCW being that way and Bischoff and stuff, and it was personal to me, you know? And so when WWE bought WCW, I'm like, you know what, good. Fucking serves them right, you know? I would have had no problem with them if they weren't trying to put other people out of jobs and, you know, and harm people's livelihoods and shit like that, which seems completely unnecessary. It's one thing to compete and to quietly have that motivation in your head, but to be out there saying that, and I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. So I was very anti-WCW. And so it almost just felt, as I'm clapping there, it almost just felt like fitting. I'm like, yeah, I think I was kind of supposed to be at this show. But I liked WCW. I liked a lot of wrestlers there. They still did some good things. I bought some of their pay-per-views. I just thought they had whack-ass priorities. And that's why whenever fans like complain about AEW, they should concentrate on themselves. I'm like, you guys have no idea what it really means to be distracted and to really be more focused on your competition than you are on yourselves, because that's what WCW did. AEW does not do that at all. Not even close. It's one thing to take a cheap shot here or there on TV. That does not equal or obsession. Man, there's the 3. Stephanie's reaction was priceless. This weird WWE locker room. Just a few. Look at these people. It's like the B team. Yeah. Oh, I guess Edge is there. He's not B team. And then Stephanie's, she knows it. Well, girl, you had it made in the shade. You did this to yourself. Why the hell did you become the owner of ECW and turn against your dad when you had everything you already needed? Yeah, I like WCW too pre-Hogan days, because that's when the obsession started. That's when Bischoff was like, holy shit, we can actually compete now. You know, and then every single time he's given an interview, I want to put Vince McMahon out of business, you know, and him and Ted Turner kind of had that mindset. But prior to that, it was a lot of fun to watch WCW. I liked watching them on Saturday nights and stuff. It was cool to see Vince tear off his jacket and throw it down, celebrate, big moment there. I remember seeing that from my seat too, just that visual of Vince, you know, kind of celebrating like that was awesome. So I am very glad that we finally got a chance to look back at WWE Survivor Series 2001, which marked the end of the failed invasion angle. But the invasion angle did have its moments here or there, and even though none of it made much sense, I thought that was a really fun ending to the pay-per-view and a really fun main event that went, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. So very dramatic and lots of swerves and stuff at the end, in the end. But of course, in the end, WWF survives and they live on. WCW would go out of business and everybody would be fired, but they would start slowly working people back in. Some people were champions. Some people like Test had immunity. But Booker T would be brought in right the next month. He would all of a sudden kind of start being friends with Vince McMahon. And shortly after that, we would get the grocery store fight between Austin and Booker T. And they'd slowly kind of just like rehire guys. It was kind of like Tough Enough. Like you'd always have one winner, but they just sign everybody anyway. So it was kind of like that. They were able to figure out ways for people to come back in or be repackaged or be re-signed or rehired. I think Regal, of course, the next night I was there live in person for Raw in Charlotte. The next night when William Regal had to kiss Vince McMahon's ass and Ric Flair came back. So it was crazy, crazy time, but a fun time. So watch along Raw November 19th, 2001. We could do that, Brandon. That could also be a members only one we could think about just past the 21-year anniversary of that show when I was there. So I'd be into that because it was a pretty big night on Raw and a pretty big night in WWE. Lots going on. So anyway, yeah, guys, thanks for being here. If you live here in the States, happy Thanksgiving week to you. I'm not sure. You'll definitely get some YouTube shorts hitting the channel. You might get a mic drop hitting the channel. But I am working on Wednesday night, so there's going to be no Dynamite reaction. I could be up here for tomorrow night for Raw, but I don't think Raw is looking very good, and I don't want to waste my time with a review if nothing's happening. But you might hear from me tomorrow. You might even hear from me Tuesday. I'm just not sure what yet. In terms of Survivor Series, I have a predictions video planned for Friday, which means the card might not totally be finalized because we're going to be doing the predictions video ahead of SmackDown airing. So I don't know if we'll be able to predict it that well in case they add a few things or we need some last-minute team members added or whatever. But I will do a Survivor Series predictions video on Friday, going over wrestling news as well. And then, of course, on Saturday is the pay-per-view, correct? That's when we're here for Survivor Series review of the show. So the links to all this stuff will be up probably no later than tomorrow night, 24 hours from now. So keep a lookout for that, and I'll make sure to sprinkle some content on the channel in between. So, it's just not emptiness here. And I'll try to be a little bit active on the Twitters and the brand new Instagram. And one more time, just in case you haven't yet, go follow me on Instagram. The link is in that pinned comment there at the top. And I appreciate you guys being here with us this evening. I'm going to catch the rest of this football game and take it easy. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday night. And if you're about to start a holiday weekend, I hope it's a great one. I really do. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody out there. You guys have a good rest of